Hey y'all, I'm Tammy and this is Collard Valley Cooks. Today we're making a recipe out of my second volume cookbook. It is so good and it's called a tropical cake. It is full of goodies and we're going to get started. If you like coconut and pineapple and bananas, you're going to love this cake. And guess what? You make it with a cake mix. Now, I had a coconut supreme cake mix on the recipe. And right now, Duncan Hines is only carrying the Dolly Parton coconut cake mix at my grocery store. So that's what we're going to be using today. So I'm going to show you guys how to make this cake. I want to bring you up close so you can see the ingredients. And we're going to get started. I'm going to put the cookbook on my handy little cookbook holder right here so I can see what I'm doing. Now, you can see on the table, we've got a coconut cake mix. We've got 3 eggs. We got 3/4 cup of oil, 1/4 cup of water. We're going to be using a 1/2 cup of shredded coconut, and this is Baker's sweetened shredded coconut, and a 1/2 cup of crushed pineapple. And all I've got is a really big can. We're going to be using bananas in this recipe as well. I'm going to go ahead and open up this can with my handy dandy can opener. And I don't tell you to drain this, so I don't think you have to. I'm going to use a hand mixer today and my batter bowl. Be easy, won't it? So this is my new hand mixer I've been using. It's a Hamilton Beach Professional, if you're wondering. I'm going to start with my liquid ingredients. Whenever I do a cake mix, I put my liquids in first. So we're going to start with the 3/4 cup of oil. Now we've got the 1/4 cup of water. I'm going to go ahead and put in my pineapple. It's a 1/2 cup of pineapple. This is a 1/4 cup scoop. There's 1/4, 2/4. So that's a 1/2 cup. We got 3 eggs. From my sweet chickens. Now, I've washed these eggs and put them in the refrigerator. I get so many, I do have to wash some and put them up. And I need to be making lots of cakes because I got so many eggs. And I know they're expensive right now, but I need to be using them. Up off my counter. Now, all we got left is our cake mix and our coconut. I'm going to go ahead and put the cake mix in here. Oh, I think we're supposed to add a little bit of vanilla extract. Let's put that in there. So about a teaspoon of vanilla extract goes in. Try to get it where the liquid is. Now all we've got left to put in there is pecans and coconut. So we're going to get started mixing it up. This mixer does have a slow speed, which is nice for cake mixes and anything that's got flour or powdered sugar. Oh, we've got to put bananas in here too. We've got to mash up some bananas. Lord, I forgot to tell y'all about them. So all we got left is our pecans, our coconut, and our banana. So I'm going to let this sit right here, and we're going to mash up a banana. Chris got me some really big bananas. They were organic. I said, honey bun, these are enormous. So I tell you to use 3 medium, and I think 3 medium is going to be equivalent to about 1 1/2 of these. They're so big. So that's what we're going to use. I typically just use a fork. All right, let's mash them up. 3 medium. Or 1 1/2 really big ones. This cake has got a lot of stuff in it, so it's going to be really moist and delicious. So just make sure, it might take a little longer for yours to cook than it does mine. It's just according to what kind of oven you got. Everybody's oven cooks a little bit different when you bake. That looks good. All right. We're going to put these bananas in our cake mix. Don't that look delicious? It smells so good. Nothing like a good old tropical cake. Tropical cakes are so good, even in the wintertime. Get that banana mixed in there good. Looking good, looking good. All right, all we got left is coconut and pecans. So you're going to do a half cup of chopped pecans and a half cup of flaked coconut. Don't that look amazing? See how easy it is to mix up if you got everything laid out? You can really take a cake mix and create something really yummy with it. With some of my recipes, I've got some really good cake mix creations is what I call them. Cake mix creations. That's what I call them. Because they're creations. And this one is a good one. Chris will be excited when he gets home to get a piece of this. We'll have to share it. All right. Here's your bundt pan. You're going to spray it really good. I like to spray bundt pans because it's hard to grease them. So I do it the easy way with spray. Get the flue good. And then get the sides really good. You don't want this cake to stick. It's got a lot of stuff in it. Make sure you spray your pan really well. We used the rest of my can. Now we're going to get this in there. Boy, that smells good, y'all. It's going to smell good cooking, too. It's a delicious cake. And I don't even ice this cake. I put powdered sugar on it. There we have it. Now let me wash my hands. It's going to be a good one. With all that stuff in there, you know it is, right? It's one of our favorites. Man, you can't beat our recipes. And remember, this one's in the second cookbook. All right, I'm going to open up this and slide it in. Now, with this cake, it says to bake it at 350 degrees for 30 minutes. And then you're going to turn it down to 325 for 20 minutes. Now, you make sure yours is done before you take it out. Put something in it, make sure it comes out clean. It should be pulling away from the sides just a little bit. Hey, everybody. I just wanted to tell you how much I appreciate you watching our channel. We have been on YouTube since 2017, and boy, have we grown into a big family. So, thanks for being a part of Collard Valley Cooks family. If you have never hit that subscribe button, please hit the subscribe button. I sure would appreciate it, and that way you won't miss our wonderful family recipes. I believe this cake is done. And I've got a skewer. I use a skewer. And I'm going to just put it in there and make sure it's done. It came out clean. That means it's ready, ready, ready. And it smells so good. The kitchen smells good. Let me get something to put it on. We'll sit it right here. and I'll bring it up, let you guys see it. Ooh, that looks good. All right, we're going to flip this out right here. I got me a cake plate, and I always rinse it off after it's been stored on the shelf. Make sure it's good and clean and not dusty. And I'm just going to sit it on top of the plate like this. Then we're going to just flip it upside down. Just try to get it in there as straight as you can. And there you have it, our beautiful tropical cake. It smells delicious. Now, if you want to put a glaze on it, you can. I don't think I'm going to, but I mean, I guess we could mix up one. Chris would probably like it. Y'all want to mix up a glaze? We will. All right, we're going to start with a 1/2 cup of butter in a saucepan. Where we're getting it melted, you're going to add a cup of sugar. This should make a lot of glaze. And it says just to add everything together, except the vanilla. You're going to add a 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda, and that's because you're using buttermilk. 1/2 cup of buttermilk. This is buttermilk glaze. And 1 tablespoon of corn syrup. I'm just going to eyeball the corn syrup. That's about a tablespoon. It says you're going to bring it to a boil 5 or 6 minutes until it's thick like a syrup. If it's going to boil, I'm going to need a bigger with that baking soda in there, I should have put it in a taller pan. Maybe it'll be all right. That butter's still not completely melted. So we're going to cook it until it's thick like a syrup. Then we'll add our vanilla to it. And if you had a sheet pan cake, you know, like a sheet cake, you'd just poke holes in it and then pour this over the top. So bring it to a slow boil so that that sugar has time to melt in there in the butter. Boy, it looks good, don't it? This is going to be really delicious, y'all. Really good. Now we're going to let it boil. While we're waiting on this to boil, I thought you guys might want to make a comment on if your mother made a cooked glaze like this, like a buttermilk glaze, or if you make one. Why don't you let me know in the comments? I cut my hair today. Cut it pretty short, didn't I? But it's about to start getting hot, and I don't know. I just wanted to cut it, so I did. I was curling it, and I cut it at the same time that I curled it. I'm going to get my big spatula. Yeah, that's what it looks like candy. Ooh, it's going to boil over. I'll use my nonstick green bean pot. We'll pour it in there. Now it can boil as much as it wants to. I don't know what I was thinking. I didn't think it would be that big of a batch. That baking soda really makes it rise up. I didn't want to mess. I just cleaned my stove. This stove is not easy to clean, so you definitely don't want to have to clean it again after you've cleaned it. If you want to see this in my book, in the second cookbook, it's got the vanilla glaze. It's just a quick powdered sugar glaze, and then the buttermilk glaze, the one you cook on the stove. That's what we're doing. And this is in our second cookbook, along with the cake recipe. Cooking it 5 or 6 minutes is a little while. We're going to let it boil that long. Now, I would recommend you use a nonstick pot like the one I'm using and stir it because it's got that buttermilk in there and you don't want the milk to stick to the bottom. It looks like it's doing good. Hopefully you got a nonstick pot. If you don't, I have one linked and you can go in there and get you one. You can go through our website and buy it through Amazon, or you can go through this link on YouTube and get it from Walmart. Whichever one you want to do works. They're about 5-quart nonstick pots, and it's not going to be exactly like mine, but it's going to be about the same thing. Serve the same purpose. Whew, that ought to work. Golden. We're going to take it off and put some vanilla in it. I'm going to let it cool down a little bit before we put it on the cake. All right, we're going to get our glaze. Put it on there. It's still hot. I'm going to pour it up in a something that I can pour it out of. It looks really pretty. And it tastes like caramel to me. That's what I think it tastes like. So we're going to get it on here. I just don't know how thick it's going to be. I mean, it's supposed to be a glaze, so. I'll let it cool down just a little bit more in case it might get just a little bit thicker to go, but it looks really good, I think. Looks really good, y'all. All right, we've let this get a little bit cooler, and you can see it's like caramel. And hopefully you've got something you can pour it out of. Looks plum delicious, don't it? And it's going to be good, good, good. And now it should continue to drizzle down, and the whole middle's full of gooey stuff. All right. You can see this recipe, tropical cake, Tammy's tropical cake, and the buttermilk glaze. And you know it's moist because it's that Dolly Parton coconut cake mix. My dog is whining. It smells so good. She don't normally whine for cake. Yummy. Boy, that looks good, don't it? Looks delicious. You can see the goo in the middle. Actually, she smells roast beef that I heated up for supper. All right. It looks so good, I want to eat it off of this because there's some leftovers. I'm going to. The coconut, pecans, the caramel. The buttermilk glaze is nothing but caramel, y'all, pretty much. You know what it tastes like? The best banana bread you've ever tasted because it has coconut cake mix. That's a sweet cake. without the glaze. So you don't even need the glaze, but boy, is it good on there. I'm telling you, if you make it for yourself, you don't have to make the glaze, but if you take it somewhere, make the glaze, and they're all going to be so impressed by what you brought. I'm so glad y'all watched me make this cake today. And you know what? The great thing about watching the video all the way through is that you get tips and tricks that might not be in the recipe. Most of the time, they're not. So always watch the whole thing. And thanks to Chris for coming back in and getting the end of the video recorded. We'll see you next time on Colored Valley Cooks, where we cook like our mamas did. We love ya. Bye.